So, welcome back to 2024 and the new series of the Inside the Orange podcast. Walk for Autism 2024, the Stadium Tour, and we want your help. We're going to be walking around 12 iconic London stadiums, and we want you to help support us. To find out more, we'll be talking on it today on the Inside the Yellow podcast. So those of you who are quite eagle-eyed may have noticed that we've had a slight name change, the Inside the Yellow podcast, and we've done that for one reason only. We are going to be starting this year's challenge at Watford and finishing at Watford. And so we were asked very kindly by the fantastic Blissett, who's going to be joining us on the challenge. He said, "Can you call it the Yellow Podcast?" And we said, of course we can. Now we know it's a bit of fun, but we're going to enjoy having that this year. So we are now the Inside the Yellow Podcast as we complete our Walk for Autism 2024, the Stadium Tour. So if you haven't seen our social media, let's give you a little bit of an update about what that is. So we are going to be taking part on August the 24th and 25th, 2024. We are going to be completing a stadium tour, similar to what we did with the Leicester to Watford walk back in 2022. We're going to be doing a slightly different version of that. It's less miles, so it's a smaller walk, but we take in 12 stadiums. I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up about what that is right now. We will be starting on the 24th of August at Vicarage Road, the yellow brick road, the Graham Taylor statue, where we finished the Walk for Autism 2022. We're going to then walk down to Boreham Wood and go to Meadow Lane, which is their stadium, before going on to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the Emirates Stadium, Brisbane Road, Leyton Orient Stadium, and the Olympic Stadium for West Ham on day one. That's right, day one. So as I say, it's a 65-mile walk. We're planning to do about 32 to 35 miles on day one, potentially the furthest I've ever walked. And then on day two, we will be going from the kind of Shoreditch area where we finish on day one. We're going to be walking to Chelsea, to Stamford Bridge, then across to Fulham, to Craven Cottage, up to Loftus Road for QPR, across to Brentford for the Brentford Stadium, up to Wembley Stadium, the home of English football, before moving on to Barnet, before again returning back to Vicarage Road to complete the loop of this epic journey. And we want your support. We want people to be helping us. Now, in the link below, you will see in the show notes, in the description, however it's put across to you all, guys, it will be available to be donated for using a GoFundMe. So you can see that it's the Walk for Autism, the Stadium Tour. It's once again, we are going to be raising money for the AnnaKennedyOnline autism charity, a charity we've been working with now for quite some time. And it's really, really important charity for us and someone we continue to want to support. And I keep saying we, and you're probably thinking, Rich, we talk we. And of course, when I say we, of course, I mean listeners, I mean everyone involved in it. But I'm so happy to say, and you've probably seen in the social media, but if you haven't, where have you been? But if you haven't, we have also got my great friend and the brand Team Godo is returning. My fantastic friend who was such an important part of the Leicester to Watford walk is going to be with us, and we've got some little catch up with him today. We did have a little catch up, and I've got some bits and pieces to go through you. If this is the first time you've seen us, or you found out about us last year and you weren't sure about the Leicester walk, then on the YouTube I'll make sure that there's links so you can go and have a look at that walk of what we did. And also in this episode, as I say, I'm going to introduce you to who Team Godo is if you've not seen before and what they've done. Because even without the stuff they've done to help support us, Team Godo in its own right is a very, very positive and proactive brand that continue to fundraise and do some absolutely epic challenges. And he's always so kind to say he's going to come and help me. So we built this together and we look forward to bringing it to you. But like I say, we need your help. We need your support. This video today or podcast, however you're listening to it, however this has found you, share it. Let someone else hear it. Let someone else know what we're doing, what our aim is, and how we plan to make this the biggest thing we've ever done. We're using some fantastic football clubs. We're using some giant places to try and attract as much kind of notice and make as big awareness of this as we can. We are trying to make this such a big event. We are going to be working with the clubs. We've got some that we are already kind of talking to, so there is going to be more developments, and that's why we're going to kind of run the podcast series through, talk about where the support's coming from, talk about where we're having kind of support from. So absolutely, I want to kind of just drive home. We need your help. Please keep watching, keep tuning in, keep following to see how you can make a difference. So, as I said, I was happy enough to have a little bit of a catch up with Goddo, and we asked him a few questions about why he's joining us on this kind of challenge again, why AnnaKennedyOnline is something that he wants to kind of bring himself back towards and to join, and what they've been up to. So, as I say, on video, we can see Goddo. So, Goddo, first question. Why is Team Goddo joining forces with the Inside the Yellow podcast once again?
Well, Rich, when this year kicked in, I was thinking about what Team Godo could do this year. And then you remember we had that social evening where it was me, yourself, Dave, and our beautiful ladies. And we were reminiscing about the 2022 Leicester to Watford walk. We remember that. Holds such lovely memories for all of us, doesn't it? So when we're talking about football, stadiums, walking, and I thought, that's it. And you know that Leicester walk built a strong friendship between Anna and her team, Kelly at Born Anxious, yourself and Zoe at Inside the Orange, Luther Blissett, and us at Team Godo. And that friendship has remained there very, very strong. Then when it comes to football, stadiums and walking, yes, we are in, mate. We are in this together. We'll do it together, yeah?
And secondly, why the AnnaKennedyOnline charity?
Yes, the first time I had met Anna, Joe, Lisa, Sally and all the AKO team, I quickly realised how passionate and inclusive they are when it comes to autism. Although I come from a background of supporting child-related charities, I was quickly impressed by their hard work, humble approach and respectful ways they do with their amazing work with autism. So it is a privilege for us at Team Goddo to be supporting AnnaKennedyOnline charity with the stadium tour. We can't wait for it to come round this August.
And for people that don't know, tell us about Team Goddo, what you've been up to, how does it kind of all start? Tell us about Team Goddo.
Well, we had started back in 2020 during COVID, and since then we have been very blessed with many a successful event. However, last year, it must have been the biggest yet for us. Team Goddo celebrated my 60th birthday with a London Marathon completed and 2 walks, one in the UK and the other one in my home country of Malta. And I have to mention some special moments that are there in my heart, and they will be there for a long time. My eldest daughter, Charlotte, smashed through the finish line during the marathon whilst she was pregnant. And that was very special when we found out that that actually happened with her. And in Malta, we had a huge turnout in our walk, raising awareness and funds for Fondazione SEP, who support local children in need. The turnout was amazing, the support was amazing, and there were so many people there celebrating my birthday in Malta. Team Godo is made up of lovely people, Rich, who have been right by my side since we started. So I want to thank each and every one of them from the bottom of my heart, because we always do this together, and this year we will go again together. So bring it on, yeah?
We'll be bringing you so much more from Goddo and Team Goddo as we kind of work together, including some training walks, including bits and pieces that we'll be doing to push this forward. Now, I can't speak highly enough of Goddo, and we bring different kind of things to this walk. Obviously, walking together is such a big thing. You know, that's the most important thing that we will be doing together, obviously. But he also is such a driving force in trying to get so many people involved. Team Goddo as a brand is all about raising others or lifting others and raising others. So he is such a hard worker behind the scenes of what you see. I do a lot of the social media videos and the kind of updates of what's going on with the walk, but he is such a busy guy just working away and making this from his own perspective just as big as he can. So as I say, massive thanks to Godwin, and we will be picking back up with him as we go through. Another great bit of help we've had in the first few weeks as well was some time with Blissett, so the Watford legend who did help us walk in the last walk together into that last mile. He came back to help us again. So I sent a message to Luther and asked, can you just give us some support? And there is a load of support coming from Luther. It's absolutely fantastic. He was introduced as the newest member of the band, as well as we had some photos taken outside the iconic Graham Taylor statue in Watford, outside the stadium. And we just had a lovely time just chatting and getting things together and how we're going to make this work. Luther's brought some fantastic ideas to the table as well that we're going to be working on. We're going to talk about these more as we work towards the walk. There we go. So Luther, it's been amazing to kind of work with this, and he was very, very strong about us making sure that we don't use the orange in there. We've took the orange out. The inside the orange has had to walk back, step back a little bit, and we are rebranded as the Inside the Yellow podcast. If it's good enough for Coldplay, it's good enough for Inside the Orange. That we just have a slight change of names. If people know what that's referring to, absolutely. All love and again, all fun. No all puns intended there, guys. So moving on, we've kind of covered, we've had Luther Blissett, we've kind of covered where we are with Godwin at the moment and what's going on. Obviously, the fantastic AnnaKennedyOnline charity is who we're going to be raising money for. We are raising money for that charity, but it is also about raising awareness, acceptance, and promoting inclusion of autistic people. So we want to make this as big and as event we can. Football is such a good place to kind of use these walks and have these walks around because it's all about communities. We want people to be involved. We want the different clubs to be involved. And as I say, this start today is almost like a plea to our listeners, to anyone who finds this podcast, anyone who's listening, to try and help build this as big as you can. If your club is one of the 12 we're walking to, or even if it's not, please keep moving this. Please keep talking about it to try and make it as big as we can make it. We have also had some fantastic support today. It's always lovely when other podcasts talk to us as a podcast as well and kind of share it. So not only recently we've had some bits of pieces in the local papers, which was absolutely brilliant. I was also a guest on the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast, who again, they supported us through the last walk. They're a Watford Football Club podcast. They talked to us and we had a great conversation, not just about the walk, but we were talking about autism, what AnnaKennedyOnline kind of does and how it links so well to the community of football clubs. That's what we're talking about. That's the kind of aim we're going for on these walks, is putting that community together. The autism community, the football community, and again, the success we had with the Leicester to Watford walk, we want to do that again. We want to use football to kind of unite so much with what we're trying to do with the Walk for Autism 2024. Again, being a stadium tour, there's 12 fantastic football clubs there, and we would love to talk. So again, first, before I go on to that, fantastic, massive thank you to Justin, Peter and Carl at the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast for having a lovely chat and talking about it and raising awareness and the continued support that they give us. But we are also opening this up to other clubs as well. So if you are a podcaster, if you are a listener of a podcast for clubs such as Boreham Wood, Tottenham, Arsenal, West Ham, Leyton Orient, Chelsea, Fulham, QPR, Brentford, there's so many people now who podcast with football, Barnet as well, of course. Anyone who wants to kind of talk to us, please, reach out, say these guys are doing this walk and try and help support us, talking to other football podcasts as well. Again, raising it as highly as we can to help support the communities that we are trying to do. So again, If you're listening, guys, please help support, help push what we're doing around your clubs and see if it can make a difference. Huge thanks for that. Finally, most importantly, where do you support? So again, our GoFundMe is live. It is available on GoFundMe as the Walk for Autism 2024, the stadium tour. There will be links in the description, the show notes, however this comes to you, you should be able to see links of how that is found. There'll be links to obviously Goddo, Anna's charity, the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast as well. There'll be links to everything that has kind of supported us as we've got to this. Today, though, as I say, it's a welcome. We're back, we're coming back, and this is what we want to do. Guys, as I say, these podcasts will be coming to you as often as we can. We will be updating with you. And as I say, the plan is to make this as big as we can, to unite so much football community to try and support autism, autistic people, and promote the inclusion, raising awareness and acceptance. So thank you so much, everyone who has listened today. You know where to find us to keep in touch. Please, if you've got any questions, you can always follow us and you can get in contact with us at the usual places. If you're not sure, here they come. So you can follow us on X, as it used to be Twitter, but now we call it X. X is at Orange Watts. You can follow us on Inside the Orange on Instagram, the Inside the Orange podcast Facebook page, and you can also go to Inside the Orange at insidetheorange.co.uk to help with any of your inquiries via our website. Again, please feel free to check out the Team Godo website. Please feel free to check out the AnnaKennedyOnline website and anyone else who is helping and support. But today, guys, thanks so much. Been fantastic to kind of bring you back, talk to you guys again, and welcome you back to 2024, the Inside the Yellow podcast. And the Walk for Autism, the stadium tour, starts right now. So I just want to say a massive thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to it. Thanks so much for your support, and goodbye and take care.